Most people hear the word Cordata and all they can think about is either Costco or Whatcom Community College, but there's actually way more going on here. And if you're looking for a house that's not gonna be $900,000 and it's more affordable, then Cordata is the place for you. So today's video, I'm gonna break down the whole entire Cordata neighborhood, what the homes are like, the lifestyle, and exactly what to expect before you're moving here. Hey everyone, this is the Living in Bellingham YouTube channel. I'm a local realtor here in Bellingham with the Living in Real Estate team. So if you're new to the channel or you're starting your search here for a home in our area, I'm here as your #1 resource as we help many people every single month relocate here to the Bellingham area. So make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get into this whole entire video. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you a lot of footage of Cordata, but I'm also gonna use the maps here in front of me with the computer because I wanna show you everything that has to do with Cordata. So we're gonna jump into my computer right now and let's get to it and let's show you exactly what you need to know about living here in Cordata. All right, so this is the whole entire picture of Bellingham. This whole entire area is essentially that's highlighted. This is Bellingham proper. Now, Bellingham really does extend, for those of you that are kind of new to the area, haven't done a lot of research, Bellingham really kind of goes out and beyond. I mean, Bellingham's quite large, even expands a little bit more than just this area here, but everything that's highlighted is Bellingham proper. So if I go to Cordata neighborhood, and I will show you exactly where the Cordata neighborhood is. So this will have it highlighted here for you. So everything you're going to see. Now, if I zoom out here, you're gonna see that Cordata neighborhood is more north of everything. So if you're looking at the map, we kind of consider Cordata being the north part of Bellingham, right? And so this is probably the furthest north you can go within Bellingham, within city limits, that any neighborhood is located. So as you can see here, it kind of feeds the bottom of it. Essentially, this is I-5, Costco's right here. We're gonna talk about everything here in just a moment, but it's a really vertical sort of neighborhood and area, and it butts up here. Now this main street that you see right here coming down, this is the guide Meridian, and then everything to the west of it is gonna be essentially Cordata. So this kind of butts up to the back of where Best Buy is, Walmart, all this good stuff. So Cordata is 15 minutes from Fairhaven. So don't be worried like, oh my gosh, Cordata is gonna be so far and it's gonna be far from everything. And it's really not, right? Everything is kind of centrally located within a certain part of Bellingham, and Cordata is gonna be a great location. So let's get into it. Okay, so Cordata, I used to live here in Cordata for a long, long time. We bought our first house here in 2018, spent 2 years there, and then we ended up building a house. But beforehand, we ended up living probably 4 years in Cordata before we even bought our house. So we got to know it very, very well. And I love the accessibility that Cordata has to offer. Obviously, everything is very accessible, but people who are locals here, they think of Cordata and like, oh, it's so far away, and it's really not. So essentially what happens is, here's Cordata, but there's a lot of back streets that you can go, that you can take. So if you wanted to, you can take the guide Meridian, you can go to Tremont down the guide, and if you wanted to take Bakerview over and then down into Barkley area right here, which you can do, which is fine. You can also go and then take the freeway, get off, and then here's Barkley, which is fine as well. There's also just a lot of back roads that you can take Tremont, go up to Klein, go over to Hannigan, and then back into Barkley. I keep referring to Barkley because Barkley is definitely the closest major neighborhood, and there's a lot to do in this Barkley area. So there's definitely a lot to do there. And again, Bellingham is close to everything, but Barkley is still #1. What I love about Cordata here is essentially, this is where you're gonna be living, and the mall is 2 minutes, not even. So here's all Cordata, and here's the mall right here. This is the Bellis Fair Mall, and what you're gonna see is you're gonna have a lot up there that you can do. Now, granted, it's 2025. Our mall, I wanna say, is pretty dead compared to what it was in 2015, but you're gonna have Buffalo Wild Wings, you're gonna have Dick's Sporting Goods, you're gonna have a large food court, you're gonna have Target. Everybody loves Target, especially my wife, but there's gonna be a little arcade place in there. There are gonna be things that you can do, which is great, and then there's gonna be other smaller shopping. Nothing grand like you'd see in Linwood, Bellevue, or Seattle, but that's gonna be really really good as well. Now, like I said, I mentioned earlier, Costco is just minutes away, and Costco is right here. So when you take a look at Cordata and you're looking at it all, these are the neighborhoods that are within it. I mean, this from here, to get from this area here in Cordata all the way to Costco is gonna take you maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, which is gonna be amazing. Now, across from Costco, you're also gonna see that you're gonna have a big grocery shopping, which you're gonna have Fred Meyer. So for those of you that are from out of state, Fred Meyer's is kind of like a Kroger's. So that's gonna be nice. We're gonna have a little bit of dining, which is great, but we're also gonna have a lot of hotels. And the reason being is because we do have the Bellingham International Airport right here, which is gonna be fairly of good size. It's gonna be small, right? It's not gonna be like a Seattle or SeaTac or Denver or Miami airport or anything like that. It's gonna be rather small. We have flights going in and out of there a couple of times a day. We have Allegiant that flies out of there. We'll have Southwest that is no longer gonna be flying out of there, but that's for a different story. But you can take flights from Bellingham to Seattle, Bellingham to Boise, Bellingham to San Diego, Bellingham down to LA, Bellingham to Denver. So there is a good amount of flights that will have Vegas. Bellingham to Vegas is one of the biggest ones, and Palm Springs. So you will have that accessibility, which is quite nice. But other than that, we don't have any major flights, even though it is an international airport. Okay, now to finish off the accessibility, Cordata does have some great things in here. Most of the time though, you will have to drive out of Cordata, like I said, into Barkley in order to go ahead and to go get food, get restaurants, bars, a lot more entertainment, because Cordata is more of a suburb in Bellingham. It's probably the one and only suburb in Bellingham. It doesn't have a lot of growth. Now there is a master plan that's going on actually in Cordata that is in the works. It can either be annexed this coming November of 2025, or it may take another 5 years, but there's a master plan to build essentially. Now all this is the North Bellingham Golf Course, which is a nice golf course, it's great, but they are going to build, essentially they want to have a master plan to build houses all along this outskirt right here and to bring in a lot of cool stuff. So this that's highlighted in there, that's gonna be a master plan. Hopefully that does happen because we need a lot of more new houses. That being said, we don't know. The city is crazy. It takes forever for them to do. Back to my point, I want to talk about the restaurants. So you will have to drive a lot more from Cordata all the way probably into downtown area or driving to Fairhaven. Again, if I were to say Cordata, if I wanted to get directions to, if I just want to say some restaurants in this area, and let's just say I wanted to go into Fairhaven and I wanted to go to the Chrysler's, which is one of my other favorite parts because it does have Keenan's at the pier. And if I were to go just from the Cordata neighborhood, it says 20 minutes max. I mean, right now it's 11:30 a.m. So it's not gonna take you that long. I say it's even gonna take you more like 15, 16 minutes, depends on how fast you drive. So again, that's probably one of the cons that some people do have against Cordata is you do have to drive in some places. Obviously, this is the very south end of Bellingham, so it's not like you're going to Fairhaven every single time just to eat out. Again, this was just an example of the farthest away that you're gonna have to go. Now let's go back into the Cordata and let's talk about the neighborhoods. And let's talk about a little bit more of what you can get for Cordata. So Cordata is one of the newer neighborhoods here in Bellingham. Everything started to be built in Cordata back in the 2010-12 era or whatnot. Now what happened is, Cordata was built out a little bit. Cordata, first of all, has a huge retirement community, which is great. So if you're looking at moving into Cordata, if you're looking to go into a retirement community, this could be a great option for you. If you're a first-time home buyer, this is family friendly. So this is definitely a mixed sort of neighborhood. You do see a lot of kids and you do see the highest amount of retirement or retirees, which you'll find in Cordata, which I loved because a lot of them love having kids. Not everybody loves having kids around, but some of those grandparents that misses their grandkids, they love Cordata. And so what happened was in the beginning, right, this was all Cordata. Over here, you're gonna see that this is Whatcom Community College, kind of on the south end of Cordata. So Whatcom Community College definitely has grown. You will see now that they do have student housing, which is great. So they're trying to be kind of like a Bellevue Community College where they're gonna start offering four-year degrees in whatever studies that they have. So no longer is it gonna just become a two-year community college. They're gonna start offering, and they do have a very few, but they will have a lot more four-year degrees. So instead of going to Western Washington or another bigger university, you'll be able to get certified and actually get a degree from Whatcom Community College. So this is a great school. Now around here, you're gonna see that there's a lot of retirement and sort of 55 plus communities. So Silverado, this is a memory care community. Next door to it, this is Cordata Court. This is gonna be senior living housing, which is great. Over right in here in Northwind Circle, and this right here, this is a gigantic 55 plus community, which is really nice, which is very popular. Not a lot of houses go up for sale in here. And then a lot of this are along here, this West Kellogg and the East Village. This is also a 55 plus community. And then this that you'll see here, this is not a 55 plus community, but all of this is newer development into Violet Lane, June Road, off of June Road. So all this stuff here, and June Road is actually a newer road, maybe 4 or 5 years old. You can hit Aldridge, go down here, and then Costco is just right in here. So that's a nice community as well. It's all newer, and it's more of your kind of cookie cutter homes where everything is kind of stacked up against each other. So that there is, like I said, first time home buyers, a great option. Actually, I've helped quite a few clients who bought in here that had kids going to Western and or Whatcom Community College, and makes good rentals as well. And here, Cordata does have a good sense of condos as well. You're probably gonna find some of the more condos in Cordata, especially along here, Horton Road, Winter Green. This right here in Winter Green, you're gonna have a lot of condos in here. They just did a big assessment. You'll see that a lot of them are gonna have new roofs, exterior paint, siding, windows, so they all will look pretty good. And El Dorado, this part right here, El Dorado is probably one of the more premium 55 plus communities. It's gated, which is really nice. Houses in this area in El Dorado don't go up very often, but if you're looking and you are wanting to move to a 55 plus gated community, El Dorado is definitely gonna be here for you. So if you're still watching the video, let me know what you like about Cordata. If you've lived here before, what you want to see happen here more, what do you want to bring more to Cordata, and let me know if you've lived here and you didn't like it, let me know in the comments. So now as we go up Cordata, you're gonna see this park here. They did have Cordata Park. Cordata Park is newer. It was built about 5 or 6 years ago, and it is a great place. And as you can see in Cordata, there's a lot of trails. Now they did build the park and some outdoor kind of eating areas here first. And then the second part, what they did is they built another extra little parking lot and then put some pickleball courts, some basketball courts in here. And you're gonna see that there is a urban trail. And there's about, I think it's a 2.5 miles or so of walking within Cordata, which is gonna be really nice. So within Cordata, you're gonna see the walkability in Cordata here. I would say if you're just thinking about just purely walking, it's a 10 out of 10. Cordata has sidewalks, it has bike lanes. It's only one lane going up and down, which at first I was pissed about because Cordata, you can find some pretty slow drivers. And I was mad they switched it to one lane, and then we had kids, and then they switched it to the one lane. We're like, oh, we like this because we have kids and people are driving a little slower. There's a bike lane in between. So when you're on the sidewalk, there's not a car just driving past you pretty fast, which is really nice. But Cordata is really, really flat. So whether you're running, biking, or walking, I wanna say it's a 10 out of 10 because you can go up and over anywhere. As you can see, there's so many interurban trails. The sidewalks, the roads are all flat, they're paved, which is great. Now, when you're thinking about walking to accessibility, I would say it's about a 8 out of 10 because there's not a lot of restaurants and there's not a lot of bars. There's not a lot of things to do other than just being outside and walking. Okay, now let's go back to the actual homes here now. So the average home price in Cordata is gonna be about $650,000. Now, overall in Bellingham, the average house house just in Bellingham is just a little bit over $800,000, which is $825,000. So you can see that there's a lot of value in Cordata. So the prices there are gonna be much lower than other areas in Bellingham. So a lot of this here, this was all kind of built at first by D.R. Horton, and then it was taken over by another builder. So a lot of this in here off Holland, all this area is built just roughly 15 years ago. Then you go across the street and all these other ones off Bedford and Tremont, these houses are also kind of started getting built back in like the 2004, 2006, and 2008 area. So I want to say this is the kind of the older part of the Cordata area. But then back in 2015 and 16, all this development right back here, all this was being built here. And this all is essentially pretty new within the last, I said 9 years, 10 years maybe. But when I started in real estate in 2016, this development right here, which is called Spring Vista, this right here was being built, and this was the first sort of solar green community in Bellingham. And every single house or townhome or whatever, they all have solar panels on their roofs, and your electricity bill is super cheap. Now, they are newer, so they're not as big, nor do they have as much property as some other homes here that are in Bellingham. Now, Spring Vista, they each kind of have their own little vibe to it. Right, we bought a rental right here in Springside. So the Spring Vista, Springside, Springbrook. This is Green Vista. This is Northview 1, Northview 2. So a lot of these houses in here are quite nice. They're pretty much brand new, more modern. They're gonna have a lot better finishes. They're definitely gonna have a little bit of different sort of vibes in each. Like these ones, you have more townhomes. These here are more craftsman home styles here in Springside. These ones are cool here in Springbrook because you kind of have like a little bit more of a retirement feel. These kind of what they call bungalows, and the bungalows are just a single level. They kind of look a little bit like a double wide manufactured home, but a little bit more edgier and modern. So all these homes right here essentially are a little bit of a bungalow. And then these ones are just kind of your regular 2-story homes, 1-story and whatnot. These ones here are very contemporary and modern, as long with these ones. Again, some of these will sell up into the 700s, probably low 700s, higher 600s. Some of these like Spring Vista, you're probably talking more in the 500s. These are still being built out because they're on Northview 2. These ones are gonna range anywhere from $550,000 all the way up probably to capping at $700,000 or so. So this right here will have a great mix. I love it. They also extended out Klein Road a few years ago, so you can take Klein Road to hit Aldridge. This Aldridge Road right here will go all the way down. You can cut over and get to Costco, I mean, within minutes, which is awesome. And of course, you can hit over to the guide and then go to the mall, whatever. You also kind of have the Bellingham Golf and Country Club. All right, so let's talk about the school systems here because they are a little bit different. So let's go into, so Bellingham is here in Bellingham, but there's kind of a line. It's weird because right here, if you zoom in on Klein Road, essentially everything that is gonna be right at this line here is going to be the Meridian School District. And I think this kind of even goes, I think this line will actually go down this way. The line's a little bit different. So all this line, everything pretty much up here. So a lot of these new developments, this is gonna be the Meridian School District. So Meridian Elementary, middle school, and high school. Now there is some occasions where if you wanna petition to be into Bellingham, you can, because all of these houses down here, essentially, this all down below is gonna be Bellingham School District. Now, the Bellingham School District, the school that you're going to actually attend is gonna be right here, which is really close, as you can see. Here's Cordata. Here's Cordata Elementary School. And then you're gonna also then go down and you're gonna be in Shuxon Middle School, which isn't too far, right? And it's kind of near the Birchwood Elementary School. So Shuxon is not too far down here, down northwest, which makes it really easy. Actually, here's Shuxon right here. This is Shuxon Middle School. And then you're gonna have Squalicum High School, which Squalicum High School is a little bit more over on this side right here. So you're gonna have Cordata Elementary, you're gonna have Shuxon Middle School, and Squalicum High School. So again, if you're going to be in this upper part of the Cordata neighborhood, you will be in the Meridian School District, which in my opinion, the Meridian School District definitely is a higher rated school system and it's become really, really popular in the last 3 years. So schools both direction between Cordata, Shuxton, and Squalicum gonna be good. Same as with Meridian. I went to Squalicum High School. I didn't go to Shuxton because the boundaries were a little bit different back when I was in school, but that will be your school districts here in the Cordata neighborhood. Now, what's kind of on the east side of Cordata, which they don't kind of show you, technically not part of Cordata, but they do have right over here on the corner is they do have a food co-op, community food co-op, which is really nice right here, which I love. Their lunches are really good and the breakfasts. You have a little Dairy Queen, which is sweet. Everybody loves Dairy Queen. And then right here on this corner, they don't show it to you. Right here, there's finally a pizza and brewery place, and it's called Larrabee Lager. So they have a little tiny outside patio, but finally there's a place in Cordata that you can like go and eat and like actually drink. And that's one of the downfalls I believe that Cordata does have. There's not a lot of food here. There's some good spots you can go and eat, kind of, but there's not a lot. So there's Larrabee Lager, which is nice. Right here, you're gonna have like a little go-kart place, which is okay. Nothing like spectacular, but you're gonna have that as well. And when you kind of start going a little bit more on the borderline of this is a great part about Cordata. And what you're gonna have in here is, like I said, it's outside of Cordata, but they just installed, as of June 2025, earlier this month, they're gonna have the second Trader Joe's in Bellingham, which is nice and people love it. Now be careful because this one will be very, very busy. We have a lot of Canadians that come down into Bellingham and Trader Joe's is one of their most favorite places that they love to go to. So thankfully, as you can see, we have a lot of parking compared to other Trader Joe's where they put it in like, I don't know, they have 6 spots to park or whatever. We do have a Jimmy John's, Best Buy, which is great. This is awesome. I love Best Buy. You do have some ramen and sushi on this side. You also have another little more infusion spot, AT&T store, TJ Maxx. You're gonna have Sportsman Warehouse, Hobby Lobby for those of you that love Hobby Lobby, and Home Goods. So there is definitely, I would say, more shopping in general around Cordata than you will have restaurants. Usually we didn't really eat a lot within Cordata, but we'd always have to go into Barkley, downtown, whatsoever. So yeah, more shopping, not as many restaurants. Who is this neighborhood for? Now, again, first-time home buyers, the pricing in there is incredible. Your house is gonna be closer together. Again, we're gonna have lower priced homes, but you also have condo options and townhome options. So that's gonna be really nice. Now, if you're thinking of downsizing, this is gonna be a great spot. Families, yes, families, this is a great location for families just because the walkability and being outside and being so close to Cordata Park is gonna be phenomenal. And then again, if you're looking at retiring here in Bellingham, Cordata was one of the very first true retirement communities. And I have sold quite a bit of homes to people who have retired or who are retired here in Cordata. So it doesn't matter if you have a big family or small family, no family, whatever it is, this is a great location and people who live here truly, truly love it. Now, the reasons why some people won't want to live in Cordata is what I mentioned earlier, is that homes are more closer together. You don't have as much of a front or backyard because the lots are a little bit smaller and you're pretty much stacked up against each other. So if your backyard is probably against somebody else's backyard. That being said, there are some pros like we talked about. It is a newer part. It's not established neighborhood as some people will call it, and eventually it will get there. And so some other things to think of is that people love to ride their bikes. They like to walk, they like to run, they like to do a lot of things that are more suburban. So we do have some great trails, but no, you're not really as close to the wilderness or running on trails near Patton or Galbraith or in Barkley and things of that. So it's more interurban trails. So those are some things to kind of keep in mind when you're looking at maybe possibly buying here in Cordata. So if you are looking at Cordata and you're wanting to be maybe something close to some medical offices and you have appointments here or there, Cordata actually has a great sort of medical infrastructure here. And so we have CMAR, we have a little bit of a Peace Health as well. We have a dentist, of course the hospital if you're really needing true care care. The hospital is maybe 7 minutes away, so that's not gonna be a problem for you guys. So whatever it is you probably are looking for, Cordata either has it now or it will be coming in the future because there's so much commercial space there that they're trying to bring in even more healthcare. So if Cordata feels like this might be a great neighborhood and a great option for you, guys, all my information is down below. Book a call with me, give me a call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. We help people just like you who are moving here to Bellingham and buying a house every single week, every single month. And that is my job, is to help you get to know Bellingham a lot more. So if you're already in Bellingham and you're looking at buying, feel free to reach out to us as well. We'd love to help you out, guys. Once again, my name is Aldo. I'm here with the Levain real estate team in Bellingham and Whatcom County. And that's all I have for you today, guys. And we'll see you next time.